welcome to the Squeeze Podcast. I'm Ashlea, the Orange Lady, and I'm here to give you the juice you need to build and sustain your career. This is a solo pod today, but I am joined by your favorite pup Nala, who is very chill right now. But before I go any further, I am Ashlea, the Orange Lady. I do have experience in the tech, nonprofit, and public sectors, and I've made all the mistakes so that you don't have to. Sharing my first gen experience, talking about the hidden things that we don't always talk about. Now, if this content is exhilarating for you, if you love it, if it makes you laugh or informs you or makes you think, please give those stars. I would love all 5 of them. Write a review, share, like the content. That is something that you can do that is free, but it has an enormous impact. And it is just one of the most loving things you can do for the Squeeze and the Orange Lady. We're the one and the same. Nala is going to listen to me talk about an article I read recently that I haven't been able to stop thinking about since I read it. Okay, it is an article in the New York Times by David Brooks. It is called "To Be Happy, Marriage Matters More Than Career." Right? So, the women's and gender studies major in me, like, clutches pearls. Like, what did you just say? That is very fascinating. So just this title, right? Like, to be happy, marriage matters more than career. Like, wow. So this this article is based on several different studies. Now, I did not dig into his actual research list to see how cherry picked these studies are. So that's a different discussion. This is more, I want to dig into this as a philosophical chat. Wow, what does this mean? So I want to start with some statistics. In the article, it says that 75% of adults ages 18 to 40, I'm not even in that category anymore, but anyway, 18 to 40 say making a good living is crucial for fulfillment, whereas only 32% see marriage as crucial. Okay, that makes 200% to me. Oh, we have bills to pay? Yeah, I guess my heart can wait. I guess I'll be okay. That just to me is yeah, marriage doesn't pay the bills, right? Most of us that didn't grow up wealthy, especially shout out to my first gens, right? Either you're first to go to college, you may be first in a new country, you may be navigating new systems, maybe your family was, my dad owns a cabinet shop, right? Is a cabinet maker. I work in tech. Those are very different environments that you have to understand how to navigate. Sure, some politics are the same everywhere, but there are a lot of hidden things that I didn't know. So yeah, it's kind of like a duh moment reading that statistic. And so it just talks about young adults are prioritizing career planning over thinking about marriage and how it fits into their lives, despite the fact that people have a high desire for marriage. So just to be clear, this is, yes, 32% of people of 18 to 40-year-olds say that it's crucial, but it is still a priority. It's something they want, right? But it's not something that you're able to put the energy and time into. I completely get that. There's a little bit of context, though, I think that's important here, in that how marriage has evolved, and this is David Brooks talks about marriage has become or gone from a cornerstone to a capstone in life, with many people not viewing it as something to enter or many people find it as something to enter into, almost as a reward for reaching their career milestones and establishing themselves as an adult. Again, I had many like clutches, pearls, feminist pearls moments in this because I see it so clearly, right? When I not just look at the research, but I look at, the people in my community, the people that I work with in the Squeeze juice bar. It makes complete sense, especially, I think there's a lot of people that still their identity in the patriarchy, especially for men, is caught up in what they do for a living. And that if your career and your finances are not in order, then you have no business getting married. Like, what on earth could you offer someone else? And while I understand that, it is also one of those things, like if I flip that around and say, yes, but have you ever tried to pay rent by yourself versus with another person? That makes a huge difference. Right now, I'm not saying like start dating someone, move in together, because that's also a disaster. But I do think that it is really interesting that we see marriage as like the cherry on top. It's like that is the thing that we get as a reward for having all our other shit in place, right? Like, I have a great career. I am successful, and I put that in like air quotes because successful as in like I have a job, I have money in savings, I have like money going towards retirement. Good. Now I can shift my focus to finding somebody that is worthy of me and that now I am worthy to be with. Like, whew, there's a lot to unpack there. We're not going to do that all today. These are just little drips, right? This is not the whole, juice bar. This is just like a little glass. Little breakfast chat. And just to note, like, marriage right now is at near historic lows. So then he moves into the happiness equation. And so this is the Sam Peltzman study, which found marriage to be a significant differentiator in happiness levels more than income, right? So that was, quite wild, right? Because most of us would say, give me more money because then I can do the things I need to do, or, have the money to go on dates or travel with a partner or whatever that is. And I just think it is fascinating. Now, there is a caveat here. When we are talking about, and David Brooks is very explicit about this, he's not just talking about partnership in any kind of way. Talking about a happy partnership, a mutual, supportive, loving partnership, right? Like, this is not saying marriage for marriage's sake, partnership for partnership's sake. No, absolutely not. There's an underlying assumption here that in a good relationship, right? However you define good, that's what we are discussing here, that a good relationship, and I'm switching to saying partnership or relationship because, shout out to all my, feminists out there. There are varying views on marriage and partnership and that legal contraction, or legal kind of binding contract, right? We're not going to get into that today. That's my other pod I need to start, I guess. I really do think that it is fascinating to see that we look at marriage as the thing that actually produces happiness, because think about it. No matter what age you are, if you have had a colleague that is supportive, if you have had a partner that is supportive, if you have had a neighbor that is supportive, does that not make everything better? Right? think about it. Think if you live by yourself, but you have a great neighbor that knows that you're having your wisdom teeth removed, and they go to the grocery store for you, they check on you, they make sure to take your dog out for a walk, they, make you homemade soup. That makes things better, right? And so it's those things, and that's why to want to kind of move it to like, if you have a supportive community and close relationships, your life is going to be more fulfilling. And we cannot just look at career. So, okay, I guess I buried the lead. I agree with David Brooks because not necessarily like marriage, but I do see, and it looks like the data shows, but I see where having support, right? A supportive, caring, nurturing relationship or relationships makes your life better. Like, how can you argue that it doesn't? I think about the people that I went to college with that are still supportive. There's always going to be someone on the other end of the group chat. I think about how having a partner, when you are sick and they're able to just like go get you a glass of water so you don't have to, right? Like those things add up over time. Like there is a reason why, and again, I'm using the caveat, good partnership, and you're not going to define that for you. I know how I define it, but that does mean that there's mutual, trying to use a word I don't know how to say. Reciprocity? It's reciprocal because I have a college degree. I know words. I know I've talked a little bit about like some of the statistics, some of the things that David Brooks says, some of the things that I think. I am just really fascinated to hear your thoughts. We will link this article so that you can read it. It's a pretty short read, but it really does give you a lot of food for thought to think about investing in, or for me, it made me think about the investment I make in all the relationships that give me, right? Like that fulfill me, that energize me, that comfort me, right? Those are worth valuing over the time you spend on your career. Because again, the job, as Ralph Capps would say, the job belongs to them, right? They set that. They decide who has the job. They decide how much the job makes. They decide if they want to get rid of the job. But your career belongs to you. And how you determine like what to give to it, you will move through that. But those relationships along the way are going to sustain you. And they're going to make like the lowest points when you lose a job, when you like fail at something at work or in life, or don't meet, your own expectations. You have people there to support you and lift you up. Maybe it's the first gen in me. Like I am a part of, the squeeze and the juice bar are so rich with those of us that are the first to do things. And I'm a part of other communities that celebrate like first gen, and that ability to like come together and celebrate without this like jealousy, or it's just like everyone cheering for everyone. And that is kind of how we have come full circle from marriage, career, to invest in the relationships in your life that give to you, that are positive. Ooh. Okay. I don't know if I took a breath. I didn't even drink any of my iced coffee during that. Okay. Whew. Now I've got the juice. Time to put it to use. Again, leave a note, leave a comment, DM me, find me on Instagram, DM me, go to my website, email me. Let's talk about this. It fascinates me, and I have a million more minutes that I could talk about it. Okay, now I've got the juice. Time to put it to use.